Last week we looked at how to read decreases in lace, and this week we're going to look closer at lace. And to put it simply, all lace really is decreases that slant in a certain direction, or central decreases that slant in a certain direction, and yarn overs. And that's pretty much it. Now, one of the things that I've noticed with a lot of knitters is that they are completely tied to their charts and patterns. They if they don't have their chart with them, they're at a total loss. And one of the things I like to encourage knitters to do is to try and figure out what comes next. When you're working on a simple lace pattern or a cable pattern, look at it, and before referring to your chart, try and figure out what's going on. And if we look at this lace, we can see that this is a multiple. I've got 3 multiples here, and the multiple looks like it's a reverse stockinette stitch, the cable stitch, or the lace stitches, and then there is the next multiple. So if I were looking at this to figure out what to do, I would first, before I were going to chart this pattern, I would first have a reverse stockinette stitch. Then it looks like I make a yarn over. Then I have an SSK slanting towards the left. And then I have 1, 2, 3 plain knit stitches, and then I have a knit 2 together, another yarn over. That would be the first row of my lace pattern. Now in most lace patterns, simple ones, the next row you just work the stitches as they appear. So I have a plain working row. Then on my next row, I'm going to knit a stitch above my yarn over, okay, right there. I'm going to make another yarn over. I'm going to have an SSK, 1 stitch, knit 2 together, a yarn over, and then a knit stitch above my yarn over. Another plain row, and then on the next one I'm going to have a knit stitch, or knit 2 knit stitches, a yarn over, and then my double decrease, which is the slip 1, knit 2 together, slip past the 1 stitch over it, a yarn over, knit 1, 2, and there I go. Now this is where the pattern changes, where I get my little arrow tip here. I have my purl stitch, I have a SSK, a knit stitch above my yarn over, a yarn over, a knit stitch, a yarn over, a knit stitch, and then a knit 2 together, and so on. Now when I'm knitting a pattern like this, what I try and do is I look at the picture of what it looks like and try and figure out how to do that. And what you can do if you follow this is that eventually you might be able to get by with not having the chart or the pattern and can just figure out what to do. And you can also spot mistakes. And one of the most common areas for mistakes in a lace pattern is that if you do not make a yarn over. I see this all the time with my basic students. If you do not do a yarn over, you're going to have less stitches than you need. Well, if on your plain row when you're working and you notice that you have a yarn over here and you don't have one here, what you can do is you can pull the horizontal thread from the row below and create a yarn over. It might be a little tighter, but it should be fine.